Hi everyone, John here back again. The day after the West Ham game against Southampton, which was West Ham 3, Southampton nil. It feels so good to say that. It feels so good to say that we've got 3 points finally. A really good performance from all the boys. Southampton was shit. I do feel sorry for Southampton because they've got a very difficult run coming up now, and they're down. West Brom are down, obviously, as we guys saw. Anyway, but I'll go into that in a bit more detail a little bit later. Steve and Paul, you'll be happy to hear that the video we shot last night of me talking to you guys, the audio, as I said, was terrible, so it's not going on this video. So you're lucky. Right, so let's start with the team sheet as always. In goal was Hart again as usual. Yeah, I wasn't entirely sure that should have been the case. Because when we got beaten by Burnley, as you see in my previous video, he was culpable for one of the goals. It was a literal mistake. So, but anyway, you know, you've got to stick with it. Obviously, over the last 3 weeks, Moyes had seen something in Hart that showed that he should have kept it. So that's fine. You know, from that side of things, I don't have an issue with it. Everything else I do, but yeah, I'll get onto Hart's performance as well later on. So at left back we had the return of King Arthur Masuaku. Right back we had Zabaleta, both of those guys playing wing back. Rice, Ogbonna and Creswell as the back three. Kouate and Noble holding midfielders, with Arnautovic, Mario and Antonio up front. On the bench was basically Academy Day out, really. Adrian, Pask, who I've never heard of, Evra, Colin, Fernandez, Diangana, I think he pronounced that, and Hugo. So Diangana or Angana, no idea. Again, I've never heard of the kid. Fair play to him to be on the bench. Good to see kids on the bench, but it's worrying at the best time. Right, so let's get straight into it. Really good start, fantastic start, regardless of being 3 goals up at half time. The start was fantastic. We broke a few givens, should we say, yesterday, which I absolutely loved. I think it was brilliant. We unfortunately we lost Antonio on the 7th. I think it was about 7th or 8th minute. Now, from what I've read before doing this video, what was that he was crying as he left the pitch again. We don't know what's going on with Antonio. I personally don't know what the hell's going on with him. He's a great player. I love him a lot. He's not the raw material that we thought we were getting 3 seasons ago. He isn't. He's starting to become very injury prone now. Is it his body mass? Or is it the fact that we just rushed him back? We don't know. We'll find out in the coming weeks, and also find out in the next few days how long he's going to be out for. Now, I always worry whenever we have a substitute in the first 15 minutes, we always go on to lose badly. We didn't yesterday, but we always do. Likewise, when there's 2 substitutions at half time, it's normally a good indication that the team was playing shit at the first half. But now the problem was that it was clear that the formation was set up to place the strengths of Mario, Arnautovic and Antonio. And when Antonio went off, that really worried me, because I thought, that's it. You know, the game plan's gone, like it usually happens, and we have to bring in somebody that isn't able to step up to that plate. But all fairness to Hernandez. Fernandez, he was brilliant. You know, he's been out for pretty much all the season with a really bad injury. I think it was a calf muscle injury, or something. I just remember it's the legs. But he was superb, absolutely superb throughout the entire game. Very mature performance of somebody who's early 20s. Declan Rice, for me personally, it was for man of the match performances. It was a toss-up between Arnautovic, Declan Rice and Fernandez. Really was. All three of them played superbly. But anyway, I'll go on to that in a bit more detail in a little bit. So, Antonio goes off, Fernandez comes on. You could feel tension starting to rise a little bit because everybody was feeling shit. Here we go, another injury. What's going to happen? But I must say, as everybody's been saying, regardless of what happened in the last home game against Burnley, regardless of all that, yet again, all the supporters, we all were behind the team. We are always behind the team. We're not behind the management, as I've stated before, and as people have shown. We are behind Moyes, and we are behind the team. We are not behind the board. Demonstrations against the board is not a reflection of how the supporters feel against the team. It's just not. And it annoys the piss out of me that the media, I'd say, are and it's not, to be honest, it's not being helped by West Ham themselves either. More specifically, Mark Noble's, basically Karen Brady's statement to the supporters, basically implying if we don't support them, we don't play. We don't win games. Sorry, that's not how it works. That's a Karen Brady. That's a media. That's not Mark Noble's words. And I'm sure when he retires, in however many years it's going to be, and he comes out with a book about his times at West Ham, I guarantee you he will say that no matter what, through the hard times, through the bad times, through the good times, through the fantastic times, we are always 100% behind the team. Yes, fans boo when there's a bad performance, but it's every fan's right to do so. Whenever the players knew that when the fans rushed on at Burnley that they were safe because it wasn't against the team. All right, granted, it wasn't exactly the best timed, but it wasn't against the team. It was about how shit the transfer windows have been, about not getting in the right players that we were promised yet again. But anyway, I digress. I just want to get it out there off my chest because it's been bugging me for the last couple of weeks, and I wanted to keep it on a West Ham video only. So Antonio goes off, Fernandez comes on, plays brilliantly. Now, Kouate, who's had a lot of criticism over the last season, myself included, again had a superb game. Set up Joe Mario's goal on the 13th minute. Couple of touches, a couple of slight deflections on the way to the back of the net. It did have a slight deflection off one of the Southampton players, and the goalkeeper gets his fingers to it, but it's still an amazing goal. Absolutely, I'm well over the moon about Mario. I have said that I think he's a brilliant midfielder, and everything that has been, I'm sure I said it in my Burnley game review. I haven't watched the video, but I'm sure I said that the only thing that's missing out of his game is the fact that he doesn't have an eye set for goal. Today, he was superb in the first half, absolutely superb. He scored that goal. You could see he was thinking about it between the two touches before he kicked it into the back of the net, but it was a superbly taken goal. His goal reaction was fantastic. It was pure energy that was coming out of him, that he scored. You could see that he was absolutely over the moon about scoring. I really, really hope he continues that for the end of the season, because for the next 7 games. I think 7 games left, because we are gonna need it. 6-7 games, because we are gonna need that. We're gonna need everybody piling on the pressure to all the teams that we're playing, especially the teams around us. Bearing in mind we've got Leicester still to come away and Stoke at home. Are the 2 big games we need to be getting some serious points out of. Ideally, 6 points out of those 2 games, but again, I'll go into that further on. So going back to the match, I'm sorry guys, it's just there's a lot of emotion about yesterday's game bubbling under the surface here. But as I say, so Joe Mario, fantastic goal, beautifully set up by Kouate. I've never seen Kouate run so hard, so fast, and so often. It was brilliant. Second goal, 3 minutes later by Arnautovic, which was set up by Mario. Again, very West Ham way-esque game. goal, sorry, coming down the flanks. Mario pelted it down to the right. Beautiful ball in. Absolutely beautiful ball in. Um, and Arnautovic headers it. The keeper makes a great save, but it thought about and as our luck needs to be in these situations, because it's always gone against us in the other way round. And I'm sure the Southampton fans will say the same. The goalkeeper bounces it straight back to Arnautovic's right foot, and boom, 2-0. Brilliant goal, absolutely brilliant. So where are we? We're looking at 17 minutes in, and we were 2 goals up. Still really, really nervous at this point. Very, very nervous, but it was a good game to watch definitely in the first half. A lot of decent movements. Southampton didn't have much. Joe Hart didn't really have much to do into the entire game, really, to be honest. Mostly down to the fact that how shit Southampton were playing. Charlie Austin was just invisible. Didn't even know Tadic was on the pitch at all until very, 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 very late into the first half, where he had a free kick. But yeah, as I say, so with the few injuries that were caught, a few fouls that were caused, and Antonio's injury, we had 5 minutes of extra time at the end of the first half. Couldn't really work out why it was that long. Shouldn't have been really, maybe 3 or 4. But having said that, if we hadn't had that 5 minutes, then we wouldn't have gone in at the break at 3-0. And what a beautiful goal by Arnautovic. Yet again, he's taken 6 points from Hughes, and he scored 4 against him. It's great. It's always, your former player scores against you, and what goals he scored. A lot of people have been saying that the link up between Masuaku and Arnautovic for the third goal is very, very similar to Trevor Sinclair and Di Canio, when Di Canio scored that brilliant, beautiful, amazingly unpredictable, to say the least, goal against Wimbledon back in the day. Now I hold my hands up. I've said many, many times, including yesterday, as Masuaku was running down the flank to set up Arnautovic, that he fucks up. He fucks up his passes. Everybody knows he can't do a cross. When he scores for goal, it's just nowhere near it. Yesterday, he was on fire. It showed that we missed him drastically. From down the left-hand side, he just was as brilliant as he always is. Hence his nickname, King Arthur, because he dominates, absolutely dominates the left side of the field, and it was brilliant. And I was saying, don't fuck it. I was saying, don't the whole time, and he did a beautiful ball. And yeah, 3-0. Put on the, Arnautovic could not have missed it at all. It was set up for him 100%. So it's the 49th minute technically, because it's 4 minutes into the third, 3 minutes into the 5 at the end of the first half, and it was just adulation, to say the least. Second half, I don't know what was said from Moyes. I'm sure Moyes was saying, brilliant work. Moyes did say after the game that he said to him at half time that he should have had an hat-trick at by the half time, and technically yes, because he did miss one really good chance at the start of the game. But other than that, even though the second half was a game of 2 halves, where Southampton was slowly trying to get back into it, but Declan Rice and Ogbonna, the pair of them, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Nothing got past Declan Rice at all, absolutely nothing. The very, very limited saves that Hart did was met with ironic cheers, ironic and very sarcastic cheers. In the first half, for example, Hart almost conceded a goal. He was fucking about too long. Dithering, and when he made his delivery, it went straight out like it used to when he first started at Man City. The man's over. His career as a goalkeeper is over. I'm sorry, but he's just not good enough for Man City. He's not even good enough for us. Now, and as much as I love West Ham, that is a big thing. I can't see how he's going to get in any other side. I really can't. Anyway, I'm prattling on. It's quarter of an hour already. But yeah, the second half, as I say, the game in the second half went really quickly. I mean, the first half went very quick as well. Second half wasn't as good as the first. It was a game of two halves. But having said that, almost right at the death, Creswell would have scored if the ball had been literally about that much lower under the crossbar. That would have gone in, and it would have been 4-0, and it would have been. I mean, it was game over at half time anyway. But yeah, it was incredible, absolutely incredible that he almost like a scissor kick. The sideways scissor kicks. But was just really unlucky that it didn't get to the top of under the bar. It was unlucky, but Creswell again. There isn't anybody that out there yesterday that I could say had a poor game. There's not one of them. Absolutely not one of them whatsoever. Now looking at the run out we've got coming up, the games we've got coming up, it's awful. Yes, okay, we're 5 points clear. But having said that, though, we've still got a few games to go. Now, let's have a look. Right, so the next game, as everybody knows, is this time next week. We've got Chelsea away. Now, if we play the way that we played yesterday, I honestly think we're in with a really good chance of possibly picking up a point against Chelsea. I really think we do. It's obviously Heart's going to be really tested when we go to the Bridge. But as I say, I think we could get something. I really do. So right, okay. So fixtures coming up. As I said, Chelsea away, Stoke at home on Monday the 16th of April. Arsenal away on Sunday the 22nd of April. And City at home on the 29th of April, again on a Sunday. So there's 4 games on the basically are going to be on the telly. Now, I wouldn't be at all surprised if there's a little bit of demonstrations because the cameras are there. I wouldn't be at all surprised. If it's purely against the board again, I'm all in favour of that. Absolutely in favour of that. But I wouldn't be at all surprised if something happens. And then the last 2 games, the Saturday before my birthday, Leicester away, and the Sunday after my birthday, West Ham Everton. That's going to be hard work. That's going to be really hard work. As I say, Stoke and Leicester are the games where we need to be picking up the points to give us safety. I know, as I say, we're 14th, but as it stands at the moment, but we are only 5 points clear with those games to go. Plus, we're still waiting on when Man United at home is going to be. As is Southampton waiting on when Swansea at home is going to be. So, it's... I don't know, I want to say we're going to stay up. If we play the way we played yesterday for the rest of the games, there's no problem. We will stay up. We won't have that level of consistency, regardless of what Moyes is saying about he wants to make sure that he's bringing in a level of consistency, because we're either brilliant or absolutely fucking terrible. We don't have anything in between. There's never an average West Ham performance lately. There hasn't. It's always been one thing or another the last 7 or 8 years now. Easily the last 7 or 8 years. So, yeah, it's gonna be a long one. It's gonna be a tricky one. It's gonna be still being a long season for us. because we've just got such difficult games coming up. But having said that, though, we are West Ham. We always defy the odds. We defied the odds yesterday. But fuck me, if we stay up, it will be fantastic. Absolutely, I'll be literally so happy. If we get relegated, we get relegated. There's still a very good chance that's going to happen, guys. But if we don't, then happy days, man. At the end of the day, this is what we're into football for. I mean, we want to watch West Ham play well. We don't expect to win, regardless of what Karen Brady thinks the team's capable of. Which, to be honest, is not that much different to what we should be doing as a progressive team. But yeah, it's not good. It's not good. I'm not happy with a lot of things. Yesterday's result does, as people have been saying, it does paper over the cracks, but it's a fucking good paper at the moment. So yeah, and Arnautovic is going to be terrific. He's been terrific for us all season. He scored 2 goals for when he was on international duty, and he scored 2 goals when he came back. The Stoke fans were saying, you're welcome to him. He's a lazy. He never tracks back. He's a lazy cunt. Blah 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 blah. He's been doing everything completely differently since Moyes gave him a verbal kicking, when he came in. He's a totally different player, and we all love him for it. So Arnie, thank you very much, mate. Keep it up. You're writing yourself into the West Ham history books. You could very well be the next Paolo Di Canio if you keep going the way they're going in terms of the adulation that the guy gets. It's good. But anyway, the guys, I've prattled on as usual for way too long because this is not scripted in any shape or form. I've just said all my thoughts on and a bit of a more of an in-depth breakdown to the football this time. Glad to see that West Brom are going down in a way, because as much as I love Pardew for what he did with us and his naughty habits that caused him to be sacked, there's no coming back for West Brom. There really isn't. I can't see it. I really can't see it. They're 10 points, 8 points adrift of getting out of the bottom 3. I think it is now. From yesterday's performance and the other games as well, I think Southampton are down as well. Now, who the third one's going to be is anybody's guess. Possibly, it could possibly be Huddersfield. They could still get dragged in it. Brighton could still get dragged in it. We could get dragged in it. It's still the bottom 8 or 9 goal teams. Anything's possible. Absolutely anything's possible. Which is one of the reasons why we love it so much, and the same reasons why we fucking hate this. At the same point, as being a team that starts with W, right from the start, we're fighting relegation. It's all right for teams like Arsenal. You start off at the top of the table. We start at the bottom. But anyway, as I say, just one brief more thing. Mark Hughes, sore fucking loser. What a prick. Saying that they conceded 3 sloppy goals. Yes, from one point of view, Southampton centre backs was shit. They just weren't there at all. As one supporter said as we were walking out of the game, they look like the Chuckle Brothers, and Noble looked like Iniesta in comparison to how Southampton's midfielders were. And don't get me wrong, again, Noble had a fantastic game, brilliant challenges. Even with the shocking referee decisions in certain things, we still played well. It didn't get to us. So anyway, guys, thanks very much for watching. I'm going to be doing the weekly thoughts video as well, so keep an eye out for that. That's coming up later today. What I do also want to say is a big thank you to the people that have been watching the first video that I put up with my bad haircut, which is, as you can see, is now no longer there. If you haven't watched the video already, please do so. I was very nervous about doing the video. It's my first ever public performance, shall we say, for about 10 years, at least eight or 9 years, where I sing one of my favourite songs that I've ever wrote. There's not a lot one, so I think after I've done the songs that I've written, there's gonna be covers on after that, unless. But having said that, they might get me back into the fray of starting to write songs again. But anyway, as I say, thank you very much for everybody that's watched those. It was over 50 in the last 24 hours. I'm absolutely day and a half. Sorry. Thank you very much for that. Thank you for your likes and your comments. Most of them all on my mates from Facebook, but thanks nonetheless. So if anybody's got any songs that they want me to sing, I'm more than happy to do that. So leave your comments down on the video. I do hope to have the series of John Sings, but we'll see what happens with that. But anyway, as I say, I'm gone, guys. Thanks very much for watching. If you're new around here and like the videos that I'm doing, please subscribe. Oh, which reminds me, thank you, Bobby, for helping me reach subscriber number 25. And thank you, Terry, I think it is. Let me just check. Hang on. I was going to do this in the weekly videos, but I just remembered it now, so fuck it. Yeah, let's have a look at who the subscribers are. So it's Bobby Kazuma. Thanks very much for that, mate. I'm now on 25 subscribers, thanks to your help from watching the video. And also, where is it? And Terryx or Terry X. Terry X. Thank you very much for subscribing to me as well, mate. I really appreciate it. So yeah, I'm 26 subscribers now. Terry X, if you're watching, I've subscribed to you as well, mate. So, you know, I'm looking forward to see if there's anything that you put up as well. But as I say, as it stands at the moment, the viewing figures for my John Sings Time is currently 53 over the last couple of days. So nothing's changed over the last day. So I must have been on the recommendation list at that point. But thanks very much for watching that video, and thank you very much for watching this video. As I say, I'm prattling on again, but there's things I want to talk about. So I will be putting up the weekly thoughts video number 29 now. So that'll be going up after this video. So thank you very much for watching. In the meantime, thanks for subscribing, and I will see you very soon this afternoon. All the best now. Take care. All the best. Bye bye.